What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY review, we're going to take a look at the power of the Primes, Optimus Prime. So first and foremost, take a look at the packaging. Just, big old leader class size packaging. So you get a nice image of Optimus right there, and his little kin. You've got the wheel of the Primes right there. You've got Transformers Generations all right through there. And of course, you've got Power of the Primes down this side, and you've got his little Orion Pax right there. Come around on the other side, and you've got authentic Transformers. And you've got symbols for all of the Primes. Choose your prime. Alright, come to the back. I'm gonna come up a little bit, see what's going on. Alright, and you've got... Still, you got big old Optimus body. You've got a thing here. You've got little Orion Pax going on there. Tilt the camera up. Optimus Prime. When the humble Orion Pax becomes the bearer of the Matrix of Leadership, he evolves to become the noble leader of Optimus Prime. And hey, football can go in there. Speaking of footballs, you have all of the Primes. So far, you got Micronus, Vector Prime, Liege Maximo. Those were our Prime Masters from Wave 1. Oh, by the way, you've got him right here. So 33 steps to get from this to this. I don't think they thought that through properly. I'm just kidding. This is 33 steps. This is 15 steps. And yay for that. And of course, all the things come in there. No big deal. And his truck mode got a little messed up here. Fix yourself, Optimus. Get yourself together, man. Okay. But of course, also in the box, you get the big instruction fold-out thing in the not-so-great white on darker gray with red things there. Luckily, this one is not super difficult to figure out, but the instructions, can be slightly tricky. And I know this particular figure has had some critical issues, especially in some of the design aspects for some of the modes, but he's pretty good so far. Also, you get his character card, because yay for cards. You got Optimus Prime, a repeat of the box art, whatever the heck that is. Looks like a bug of some sort, but apparently that is Optimus Amalgamus. So he takes enemy forms to broker peace from within their ranks. If he turned into a Decepticon, you're not going to talk peace into them. I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. But hey, you got a cool character card. And it goes on the floor with all the rest of them. Now we've got Optimus here in his big little truck mode. I say that because realistically, the fact that this is a leader class figure, but the truck mode is so tiny, is so weird. It's that thing where it ended up this way because it's a triple changer. So you're going to have your Orion Pax mode, you're going to have your truck mode, and you're going to have your big old Optimus Prime mode. Now, for quick comparison, though, we'll bring in the leader class we've already looked at. Oops. We've got Rodimus. And you can see they don't truly scale to each other. While very similar in size, toy-wise, this vehicle should not be necessarily the same size as that one. They play with scale already, because this car, when you go from Hot Rod to Rodimus mode, the scale just completely disappears. You get what I'm saying, though. But they do look good together. The two leaders of the Autobots do look pretty cool. Now we can bring in Deluxe Class Hot Rod for another size comparison. You can see that those really don't go together. This, to me, is like a small deluxe, or even a big Legends class version of a vehicle. We also have Voyager class Grimlock. Now this sort of makes sense. Big dinosaur, tiny truck. Totally makes sense in alt mode. But you got this leader, and then you got that leader. And here he is with Legends class Sea Spray. Now this shows off how tiny this guy is. But, realistically, this is a tiny little Legends class. But, I mean, compared to the cockpit here, that's actually pretty close. So I figured, he is closer to a Legends in this size. And then last, and surely least, we've got Wally. So that gives you a big idea. Wally, this is Optimus Prime. Sort of. He's going to be leader of the Autobots, or is. Just depends. So, yep. Now in truck mode, he does look pretty decent. Mostly molded or painted in red. You've got silver and yellow all over the front of the truck to make sure you know that it's a truck. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pop the trailer off so we can look at him a little closer. And we've got some sky blue windows there, despite the fact we have clear windows here. Silver paint down the side, just straight up black molded wheels. These are pinned and these are clipped. It's a little strange. You've got almost a silver molded plastic there. It's almost a metallic gray. You've got blue going on back here with some silver paint. You've got his little quote-unquote trailer hitch right there. That's totally not a robot head. It's totally not. And you've got the very unfortunate back of the cab where they just sort of lost everything. Like, this plastic doesn't even match this plastic, not to mention the fact that it gets narrower as it goes back, and you clearly have robot hands hanging off the back. And I know there's some scuttlebutt that maybe this can like fold down and tab onto there. It's not entirely true. In fact, Bolt Matrix covered that in his update review, and it's not a good way to do it realistically. Now the front of the truck mode looks perfectly fine. That's decently serviceable, especially with the grille paint and the bumper and all that. That looks perfectly fine. It wouldn't have killed him to add a little bit of silver paint to the wheels, but this is just kind of ridiculous back here. Now, speaking of ridiculous, let's talk about this trailer. Now, you have what are some of the worst foil stickers coming down the side here. Very nice and chromy. You can tell because you can't even see them on screen. There we go. Nice Autobot logo there. Now, whoever put these things on must have been one-handed, because none of them are straight. You know, they only had to fit them exactly within the borders here. Now, this part up here seems to be the best. Any of these are horrendous. And in fact, over here, this one, I've actually moved. You can see it's really wrinkly right there because it didn't peel off properly. And then I peeled it up, and I fixed it a little bit. Just a little. This was worse. You can see how bad it actually is. It was worse. So, I mean, it's just, no, it's really, really bad. Oop, how about I just nail the camera? Also, I'm going to point it out now. You'll see it a little bit later. You can see right here. I can't tell if that's imperfections in the plastic or, in fact, it is cracking. Hold on. No, I think it is cracking. I think I can actually feel that with my fingernail. A little hard to tell, but it's either how bad the plastic... That's just a definite sign of how bad the plastic is. Now, the back wheels back here molded in exactly the same as the rear of the truck. You've got the front of the trailer, which is clearly a painted piece that is not going to be the top of a robot figure. Now, one thing is, right here, you can tell somebody scratched it in the factory. You can really see it right there. And then they tried to paint over it. And then there's some, like a bubble right there, and they tried to fix it, and it just did not work. Here is actually the trailer peg, which is fairly unfortunate because while it does work, it's not necessarily long enough to really hold the trailer on. So, I mean, like, if it was a little bit longer, maybe. I mean, the trailer itself is resting right here. While it rolls very nicely. This part is kind of annoying. It does steer really well. He does also have a very large cannon right there. So it's almost like a Super Optimus or Power Master Prime Optimus with the cannons hanging off of it. Coming to the top, of course, you have what are clearly not robot arms hiding there. And some not so great cutout or placed Autobot stickers. And then some more here with some arrows. And then you got a couple more decals right there, which of course all come into play later on. Now, before I get out of this mode, I wanted to try to do something. It's kind of funny, and it is a trailer, so you think a trailer should be able to do anything, but if you look at it, it's fairly well taking up space. And it doesn't necessarily say this in the instructions, but this is something I just kind of determined on my own. So by way of sort of transforming the feet here, kind of utilizing the ball joints and the double things, you can actually open up the trailer a little bit. And you can't really fit a whole lot in here. However, you can get a Legends Class Sea Spray almost entirely within the trailer. So you might be able to get a couple of smaller Legends Class vehicles actually inside the trailer the way Optimus normally would haul them. Now mind you, you're not going to be able to close the doors back there, but I like the fact that, you know, there's at least a giant gap in there that you can sort of utilize. Now I doubt in any way, shape, or form this guy is definitely not going to fit in there, but that's kind of cool. I wonder if Wally would fit. Let's see. See if I can get Wally in there. I bet if I try. There we go. We got Wally mostly in the trailer. Come on, buddy, get in there. There we go. Let's get a picture of that. Oh, I can't get a picture in that. Forgot I can't take pictures in this mode. That sucks. But anyway, I'll get a picture of that later. And technically speaking, if you open up these top parts, you can actually fit a Legends Class back there also. And if you want to stick Wally back in there, he can totally go for a ride as well, because he's a big dork. And if you just want to get really weird with it, you can totally do that. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and transform him from his little cab mode into Orion Pax. Now first and foremost, we're going to come up here to the front wheel, just lift up, yay. And these just peg in, these little slots go right there on those big old tabs on the hips. And then you want to pull this out a little bit from here. Using this big double hinge, just swing this all the way around to the back. And we're just going to ignore that. That's nothing. Don't look at that. Alright, so we're going to come back here. Go ahead and open up these arms. We'll tab that in right there. You hear a little click. Same thing over there. Unfold the elbows. Flip out each hand. We're ignoring the thing that's under my thumb. You don't see that. That's not a thing, guys. Ignore that. Alright. Nope. You tab back in there. Go ahead and untab the chest from the backs of the legs here. And fold that up. And those tabs just go in right here on the parts of the chest. Swing the legs down. Untab the legs from each other, which is a slide. It's not a plug-in tab, it's a slide tab. Rotate the legs above the thighs. Just bend the knees just a little bit. Go ahead and flip the toesies out. And then push down the head of Orion Pax. Now this guy is actually really, really cool. Now I believe we've only really gotten a couple versions of Orion Pax ever. The last one was a Titan's Return repaint, slight remold of Cup from Titan's Return. This is something totally, totally new. And I really do like it. They got the head sculpt very, very nicely done. The paintwork on the face is really great. You got the molded plastic, the light blue eyes painted in there, silver face painted in. You've got an Autobot little crooked sticker right there. Nice translucent plastic there, actually with a blue tint. You got yellow paint on the chest, silver paint here on the abs. It looks really, really good. This whole thing is actually translucent and painted, so that actually takes a while, but you got to be worried about paint chipping down the line. Now, I will say right off the bat, kind of some of the things I said about Rodimus, where the plastics really do change up. You can see it probably fairly well right through here. This is a much rougher molded plastic than this. This is much smoother. This feels like ABS, and you can see the wear and the tear on it as it goes, and it just feels different in hand. And like even down to here, it's a different type of plastic. So I think the moving parts, they tend to put something a little more durable, which totally makes sense, except for the fact that just it's visibly different and almost bad, at least in my opinion. But if it's meant for kids, it is what it is, which was part of the argument I had with some guys in Transformers groups, that this line is made for kids, not collectors. And it is what it is. Now, articulation, his head is on a ball joint, just moves around, and of course you have the hitch for the trailer right there. Arms are definitely on a ball joint. You can come up to about there and rotate at the bicep. You have a double hinged elbow for a decent little almost high teacher, except you can't really wave. No hand articulation except for flipping out for the transformation. So it is what it is. No waist articulation whatsoever because it's just truck in the middle. And the hips do move independently. I do like that. But actually this chunk, the red part, does operate independently of the hip itself. So you can do that, or you can swing the whole thing. And he does kick all the way forward. He can kick decently far back. Single jointed, soft ratcheted knee gives you 90 degrees. You got toe point due to transformation. And he can do almost a very nice Jean-Claude, but the tabs for transformation, and there went that ball joint for that leg. Tab that back in. That's actually the first time that's popped off, so that's not too bad. Oh yeah, rotation at the thighs for transformation purposes. And if you bend at the knee just slightly, you get the effect of the knee armor. Looks pretty good. By the way, we've got silver paint down here, like we pointed out. It is a little bit sloppy, and along with the bad sticker placement. So, but all in all, I really do like this Orion Pax figure. I think it's pretty dynamic. It looks awesome. Now, if you take the trailer and just do some trickery here, you can just remove the cannon. Yeah, it's just very, very easily put in there. And for his Orion Pax mode, he does have two separate guns. And I actually like that, so you can get a smaller gun for Orion to hold. It is a little stiff in the hand, but it does work. And you can't hold both of them, although I think this one looks a little bit ridiculous. I think this is kind of pointless, so I'll leave this one off. Come on. Out of there. And the feet are molded in such a way that they're normally set for an A-frame or A-stance. But I think Orion is actually very, very cool. Like I said, it's one of the first times I've ever even gotten this as a figure, so that's awesome. Now for comparison, here he is with his wave mate. We've got leader class Hot Rod. So you can see that he's a little bit bigger. Not the head, but obviously the back fin is a little bit higher. But he's a little bit, I think he's proportioned a little bit better. He's shaped a little bit better for this. Let me get Hot Rod out of here. And here he is with deluxe class Hot Rod, who is headless. Where's your head? Oh, here's your head. Sorry. There's his head. So you can see he's a little bit bigger than the deluxe, but probably still close to that size class. Here he is with Voyager Grimlock, who's a bit bigger than him, but dimensionally fairly similar. So, I mean, maybe he's more than a deluxe, somewhere closer to a Voyager in robot mode, but obviously truck mode, not so much. And there he is with Legends class Sea Spray, so that's a pretty good size comparison. A little tiny guy next to the big guy. And then here he is with Wally. So you can see he gets significantly bigger than Wally. Wally! This is still Orion Pax, except now he's a robot, not a truck. Get out of there. Now, of course, guys, this guy would not be complete without his final accessory, and it is the Matrix of Leadership, and very similar to the one we saw before with Hot Rod. Now, I did actually paint this one. I'm not going to bother with the insert of the paint montage because all I really did was paint the silver because it was just molded in a crappy gray. And all I did was mask off around the orange just to make that look a little bit more complete. Now, of course, you can still remove the core, in theory, assuming the paint isn't too thick. Yeah. So that does come out, and you can see how well, that used to all be orange paint, now it's all silver. So you got the ring, and this does mean you can, of course, put in different things, say like a Dinobot Enigma, if you want to make him into a combiner. That actually doesn't look too bad, not gonna lie. And actually that fits. Whoa! That just went flying. And you can also put in a Prime, or a Titan Master. It's a snug fit, but you can get it in there. So you can have Hot Rod be the core of the Matrix. And realistically, for him, the story isn't that you just insert the Matrix and he gets bigger. It's technically reinvented by Alpha Trion. But I like this. It's nice and clear blue plastic. However, it doesn't really... Here, take it. Take it. Just hold the... I kind of wish they'd given them kind of open hands so they could at least hold the Matrix. However, just being near the Matrix can totally affect him. Here, just hold it. Yeah. So basically, what you're going to do is fold him into a ball, and that's how he's going to become Optimus Prime. And I mean this almost literally. So, fold away the hands, fold up the arms, fold up the legs, unfold one head, fold another away, take these tabs, push them into that part of the chest. There's your backpack. And now the mutation continues with his trailer suddenly shaking and violently transforming into something else. Right. Flip open these tabs. Flip open that tab too. Unpeg from the side. Big tab right there goes into that slot right in there. Rotate, pull that out. Pull that out. Swing the whole arm up this way. Flip this to where these tabs come in here. Click in place. Rotate the arm down, out just a little bit, and then pull that out. Flip that in. Using this small tab, flip up smokestacks and pull these apart. Pull the legs apart. Straighten out the knees. Pull the feet down. Unfold all of these until it's straight. Flip this down. Flip it straight back. You've got this tab. We'll go in over here. And then close the whole thing around the back. Now you take your wadded up ball of Orion Pax. Open this part. Open this part. Grab your Matrix of Leadership. Stick it in there. It's a tight fit. Like so. Close up the chest. Come around to the back. Take the whole wad. Oh, make sure you fold that tab away. Take the whole wad and just shove it through the chest. Like so. And then finally flip up the head. Actually, technically speaking, you have to flip that up slightly prior to this so that it'll clear the chest. But because I'm trying to be cool and have a head reveal, there we go. there is your Optimus Prime, fully evolved and not really standing up straight, but there he is. In this mode, Optimus does look menacing and awesome. And guys, this is actually one of the first real versions of a G1 type Optimus Prime I've ever really had. I've had movie versions, I've had video game versions. This is one of the first times ever I've had a mainline, proper G1 style Optimus, and I really do dig him. Now, of course, a lot of the stuff we've already seen. You know, the chest right here, that was the back, is now there. You got some translucent windows there. This, of course, new painted part that was the back of the trailer, or technically the front of the trailer, is now totally exposed. And paint chipping right here on the marker light there. And you've got all the arms, you've got the legs, everything all folded out. The quintessential vents here on the legs, done in very nice silver. You've got this not so great swirly silvery plastic that makes up most of his body, and then everything else is painted. So the yellow here is painted, the blue is painted, the red is painted. Same thing on the hands right here. So you got a little bit of this red spilling over onto the hands. That does look like crap, not gonna lie. But I mean, the fact that they actually took time to paint most of the figure is actually not bad. The stickers, like the ones here on the legs and the toes, those aren't too bad. The ones on the forearms, I think that they could have excluded these entirely right here and painted these markers yellow like they should have been, but that's just me. And he has a minimal amount of backpack. If you want to pretend that those are the his rocket pack that he has at different points of the series, that would be cool. I do wish they had done something different right here. While from the front, the arms don't look too bad. He does fall into that same category that the previous versions, like Power Master Prime, had to deal with trailer bits folding up on the arms. I think that it would have been fine to actually have this completely removable and maybe even clip on and cover up the backpack a little. I think that would have been a very acceptable change. Oh, how about that? I never knew that the feet actually clicked in place until just now. Well, let's talk articulation right quick. Oh, actually, let's see if we can get a decent close-up on that head sculpt, because it's a very, very good Prime. I'm going to try to zoom in as best I can. Whoa, that's not zooming in. It does not want to zoom today. There we go. Very nice G1 Prime. Silver paint here, blue plastic otherwise, and it's going to be nearly impossible to see. I don't even think I can get the light in there. Let me see here. I can see. There we go. See those pale blue eyes that look really, really nice. And you've got the ears and stuff. I feel like they almost wanted to go with some light piping and they went against it. And I'm kind of okay with that. They could have done the whole back of the head as clear and then done whatever, but I think it looks pretty good. The shoulders are painted. Oh, by the way, ball joint was what I was trying to say. So he's on a ball joint. He can look down. He can look straight. He can turn, rotate all the way around. Yay for that. Shoulders go all the way around. It's a little awkward because they're not centered. They're back here. So you can see that's so weird, but it works. You do have the straight out and even overreaching there for the shoulders. That's actually really, really nice. He can get a significantly better high teacher. You do get bicep rotation. I like that the smokestacks are off to the back instead of on the side, so you can get that articulation. So that's good. You got, like I said, bicep rotation there. It looks like it should do something there, but it doesn't. Single jointed elbow gets you just barely over 90. I like that they actually gave him a fake elbow joint there. No articulation in the hands whatsoever. Same thing with the torso. Let's see if we can zoom out. Nothing going on in the middle here, although I really like that grill. It does look fantastic. You've got the gray breakup, you got all the red. So good. Now you get the hips that give you at least a really good Jean-Claude. And he can even go this way. Full on prancing, even with the toe point, because that's how it works. You do get thigh swivel up here. I kind of like that it's not an infinite thigh swivel. I like that. Knee bend, single jointed knee, gets you a little over 90. He can kick himself in the butt. It's pretty good. Ankle articulation is very nice, and very nice pivot right here. And a hinge this way, and like I said, I didn't realize that that would actually lock into place. So you can actually give him a very nice stance, depending on how you really go for it. But I think this is a fantastic Optimus Prime. While the rest of the figure in truck mode, or even Orion Pax, which I really do like, this is actually probably how I'm going to keep him, but I'm not sure. Now, by the way, he does, of course, have his cannon, his little rifle, which now it's in full-on mode. You can see that it's mostly hollow, but does look pretty good. You have two different holes here. This is the one for when he's in truck mode. That, I have no clue what it's for, but hey, you know, you can use it somewhere. Maybe you can peg it onto his arm, like so, if you really want to not have to hold it, I guess. But that's actually a fairly awesome thing. Look at that. And in this mode, you can't actually see the Matrix of Leadership unless you really, really open everything up. But even once you're in there, you still have to try to open up the other window. So the smaller truck cab is what you have to actually get to. So that's pretty cool. But let's see if we can do some quick comparisons. Here he is with Voyager Grimlock, and realistically, Grimlock should tower over Optimus. So, you know, that's very much not the same. Here he is with Sea Spray, which totally makes sense because Sea Spray is an itty bitty guy and a legacy or Legends size. Here he is with Headless Hot Rod again, because he can never keep his head on. So what happens when your head is a football? It just bounces around. I ain't gonna get that in there, so pull that away. Here he is next to Wally, so you can really see massive size difference that he has now. And last, but certainly not least, here he is with Rodimus Prime, his replacement. Now, of the two, I think I like Optimus better, but Rodimus has his moments. I do think they spent a lot more time and effort on Optimus than Rodimus, and I think that's fairly obvious when you look at it. But, you know, they're both really big and expensive Autobot figures and leaders. His knees are definitely the better of the two. And by the way, guys, to get him out of this mode, you can't just yank the the Orion out of the back. You actually have to push down this little blue spring-loaded lever. Maybe give it a little push from the front because it does get a little hung up. And it comes out just like that. Now guys, I picked this up from Target. I caught it on sale when they were doing about 10% off. So normally it's about $45. Most places are in the $45 to $50 range. You can pick them up in a few different places, but I found Target to be probably the most reliable. But you can always get them online. A Big Bad Toy Store actually has Optimus and Rodimus together, I think, for about $105 or something like that. So it's actually not too bad. So roughly in the $50 range for this big old leader class figure here. And realistically, it needs work. Like, even though Hasbro put in the time and effort to paint virtually everything on this figure, they didn't spend enough time on other quality control issues, like the stickers even being remotely placed in the right place, paint spillage going everywhere. The fact that I had to paint the Matrix of Leadership, at least the silver. This one I actually appreciated the orange, so I left it alone, unlike with Rodimus. But yeah, I think it's a good find. If you can catch it on sale, I'd say it's definitely worth it. At least at the $40 range. If you can get it even lower than that, I definitely say that. But as for a good rendition of Optimus Prime from G1, I really do dig it. So guys, if you like this video more than I probably like most of these figures, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that little subscribe button down there. And because I pretty much upload videos every day, you can always come back and check it out. Or go ahead and hit the little bell thingy. It'll notify you whenever I do upload, which, is all the time. Of course, I want to thank my patrons as always, John, Andy, Steve, and Colby. If you're interested in the Patreon and helping further the channel, it'll be right here on the screen. But also, I am now selling SHOKY t-shirts. Now, I think by the time this comes out, it'll be on the second round of orders. But, probably wasn't a whole lot in the first round. So I'll probably go a little bit longer, let you guys check that out. So there's a Keep On Nerding and a Keep On Building t-shirt, along with some other stuff. And I'll be making more merchandise from here on out to sell. Because, one, it's cool stuff that you guys can have. And two, it'll help keep the channel moving forward. But I'll catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, keep on priming. See you guys later.